everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about optimized storage and the fact that Macintosh computers have limited storage. It's an unfortunate fact, but this company here, Apple, has started to put what's called solid state hard drives in most of their Macintosh computers. So your computers such as your MacBook Airs, your Mac Minis, your iMacs, and your MacBook Pros don't have as much storage sometimes as your Windows-based computers. Sometimes what will happen is that we'll see a good deal on the Macintosh computer, and we'll go ahead and purchase that Mac based on that good deal, and we really don't take the time to look at those specifications, which is something that you need to do in order to make sure that you're going to get the type of Mac that you are going to want to have for a long time. And the horrible thing about computers is that it's storage. You need storage because we have tons of photos and documents and music and movies and all that stuff that we want to store on our devices. And because of solid state technology and to keep the prices down on computers, you don't get as much storage as you need. Now, most traditional desktop computers, you can easily get 1 to 2 terabytes worth of data, but that doesn't always happen on your Macintosh computers. So what can you do? Well, Apple's got a solution for you, but the problem is that solution somewhat involves the cloud, because obviously Apple wants you to embrace their iCloud service so that they can get more money out of you after the purchase. It's not a bad idea on Apple's part, but as far as you're concerned, you need to make sure that you know what to do when you run into problems. So we're going to switch screens like we always do. I am going to teach you about a little known feature on Macintosh computers called optimized storage. Let's switch screens. Alright, so on our Macintosh computer, there's a way that you can tell it where to store data. Now keep in mind, by default on some Macs, this feature is already enabled, where you'll see that your desktop and your documents folder are already stored up to iCloud. And there's a way that you can change that so that you can make the storage locally. Now, it works both ways. If you need the storage, then you got to use iCloud. But if you don't need the storage, then you can definitely use this feature. Let's take a look. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to go to the Apple menu. So Apple menu is always located in the upper left-hand corner. And I'll pause there because sometimes I throw off my left and my right. Next thing you want to do is go about this Mac. So let's go ahead and click on about this Mac, and after a few seconds our slow Macintosh computer is going to come up. Obviously this computer is running Mojave, so it's a little bit slower, but that's not our tech tip for today. Next we want to click on storage. Once you click on storage and it pops up, it'll show you how big of a drive that you have, and that makes a big difference. Now on this solid state drive, it's got a 500 gigabyte solid state drive in it. Now 500 gigabytes is actually quite a bit of room if you're just doing documents and a few photos. But if you're storing a lot of photos and videos, 5 gigabytes ain't going to do it. Or 500 gigabytes is not going to do it. You're going to need more storage. How do you make that happen? Well, what you can do is you can click on Manage once we get past this, and it'll take you into what's called optimized storage, or the optional storage features that you have available on your Mac. Now the good thing about the Mac is that you can go in and do several different things when you go into the storage option of your Macintosh. You can store items in iCloud, you can use optimized storage, you can empty out your trash, and you can reduce junk files, which is one of the great things about Mac, is they put everything right there. So the thing that we're going to talk about is optimized storage, which is a pretty simple thing to do. So once you go into optimized storage, by clicking on it, it gives you the options of what you want to do as far as your storage is concerned on your Macintosh. Now, some of the options that you have available is that you can go through and you can store that stuff on the cloud, or you can store it on your Macintosh computer. Let's switch back to our desktop and you can see what I mean. It asks, do you want to optimize storage of iTunes movies and TV shows? Basically says that shows that you've already watched are going to be removed, and you can download them at any time. Now that's an option, so let's go ahead and click on optimize. but also you can go and change your storage in iCloud as well. Let's go ahead and click on that. Now what it'll allow you to do is it'll allow you to store information in documents, your documents and your desktop information and your photos, store them in iCloud. Now obviously the challenge with that is that if you start storing them in iCloud, then you got to start buying more room from Apple. It's unfortunate that you can't store that information on a service like OneDrive, especially if you've got a Microsoft account. Just doesn't work that way. But the challenge is storage on iCloud is cheaper than installing a hard drive in your Macintosh computer. So you have the options of changing what you want to store in iCloud. So you can only store photos, or you could maybe only store your documents, desktop and documents. But regardless of what you do, uploading some of that stuff off your Macintosh computer is a lot easier than trying to store it on a computer where you're struggling with space. Now obviously the challenge is once you start storing stuff to iCloud, you need to make sure that you're going to have internet access before you access it. So again, you do have the options of what information you can store up to iCloud Drive for your stuff. Once you choose your options, you can just click on Store in iCloud, and it will automatically optimize that storage on your Macintosh so that you can make sure that you can clear up space. Again, some of the other things that you can do too is that you can go into optimize storage features or into the storage information and make sure that you turn on empty trash can automatically, which I would highly recommend that you do. And then the other thing too is you can go to reduce clutter so that you can look at some of the things on your Macintosh and see what information you can delete off of there. That way you can save some space and make sure that your Macintosh hard drive is optimized. Now one of the best ways that you can make sure that your Macintosh is optimized is to go through and check out your storage features before you purchase your Mac. Again, before you buy that Mac, look to see how much hard drive space you can upgrade. Now keep in mind that it may be costly as far as some of the stuff that you upload, as far as getting more storage on your Macintosh. But at the same time, it's worth it to have all that stuff available on your Mac so that you're not having to remember what's in the cloud and what's not in the cloud. Now I will say that Macintosh makes it a little bit easier because it automatically integrates the storage regardless of your documents, photos, and desktop. If it's in iCloud, it's seamless. But at the same time, if you have all that information on your Mac, it's not a bad thing. Now keep in mind with optimized storage, you always want to make sure that regardless if you're using optimized storage, you have some sort of backup plan available just in case something catastrophic like ransomware should occur to your Mac. And yes, Macintosh computers do get ransomware. So make sure you have some form of cloud backup, automatic cloud backup such as Carbonite or Backblaze to make sure your data is safe. So hopefully this has answered some of your questions as far as what you need to do when your Macintosh is starting to run low on storage space. So if you have comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you to find out what tech tips you'd like to see me cover, if that really works, cover in future videos. And speaking of videos, be sure to subscribe to myself, Burton Kelso, the technology expert, or my company Integral. Same videos regardless which site you go through, although I think the Integral site has about 100 more videos than my site there. But I try to do a good job at sharing them. So making sure that all of you can see it regardless if you go to Integral's YouTube channel or to my YouTube channel. So folks, take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And as always, thanks for watching.